guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mimi and I'm so happy that you're here. Today I'm coming to you with a full-on declutter. I just basically went through my entire makeup collection and just got rid of items that I just keep avoiding, things that I just don't use. I actually just recently did a declutter, but I kept some things that I wanted to still use. However, I'm at the point where I just really need to get rid of stuff, especially I'm not using, I'm avoiding. So we're just gonna dive right in and get started. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started with palettes. I'm going to get rid of this Tarte palette, Eye and Cheek palette. I got this as a gift a couple of years ago from one of my very dear friends. And you know what? The only reason I'm getting rid of this palette is just because I don't reach for it. This palette is beautiful and everything performs so great, but I just don't reach for it. I just find that I don't reach for face palettes as much anymore. However, this is beautiful, but because I can still use it, I'm actually going to give this to a family member. This is beautiful. Again, I'm not getting rid of this because I don't like it. I just don't reach for it. There's other things I go for, so I'm gonna move this on to somebody who will use it. And then I'm getting rid of the Natasha Denona Glam Face palette, and this one is in the shade Light. This one I'm getting rid of because these two shades here, the blush and the highlighter, these just do not work for me. I don't know what it is about this formula, but I cannot get it to show up on my skin. And I'm not gonna keep this entire palette just for these eyeshadows. These eyeshadows are beautiful. I will say that, and I actually wish I could separate them and keep this palette just like this eyeshadow palette, because this palette is so good. Like, these are so pretty. Like, take that and this, look at these shimmers, right? Beautiful shimmers. Look how pretty that is. But they're very chunky too. But when you blend them out, they're really nice, but they are a bit chunky. But anyway, I'm getting rid of it because of that. Going to pass this along to someone else. And now I'm getting rid of quite a few eyeshadow palettes. These are all Jaclyn Hill and Morphe eyeshadow palettes. I'm not getting rid of these because of their Jaclyn Hill. That has nothing to do with any of this. I'm getting rid of these because they're old and I don't wear shadows like this anymore. I don't reach for these ever. So I'm just gonna pass these along to someone else. Some of these I might actually no, I'm probably going to toss them just because they are pretty old. We'll just get started. This is the Vault collection. I know there was a giant uproar about this when they were released. I don't really know what even happened with that, to be honest. These shadows are beautiful. My collection, to be honest, was perfect. Nothing wrong with this collection at all. But these palettes, I don't reach for them. I just do not reach for them. And they're, like I said, they performed great. I had no issues, but I need to get rid of them. I never ever reached for them, so. Moving on. And then the same thing with the Jaclyn Hill palette, the original one. I have all of the shades here. I don't reach for this. It's too big. I'm very much a neutral person at this point in my life. I will never use these shades. So just moving on. And same thing with this one. This is the Volume 2 palette, and I kept this around because it was the only palette I had that had color. These are beautiful shades. I mean, they're beautiful colors, and you can see I barely even touched this. So this was such a waste of money for me. But I kept this because I wanted to, you know, I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll use color, blah, blah, blah. I'm never gonna use color. So, saying goodbye. Getting rid of some lip products here. I'm going to get rid of, these three are super new. I actually just got these a couple of weeks ago. I picked these up in TJ Maxx, and this is by the shade Makeup Cherry Moya. Anyway, I picked them up because I loved the color scheme of these, but they're clear. They have absolutely no pigmentation, which I did not anticipate when I bought them. But anyway, because they're new, I think I'll give this to my niece. She's started to get into makeup recently, so I'm going to give these to her so she can play with. And then I'm going to get rid of this Monica Friends Revolution lip gloss. This is a really pretty gloss, and I love the packaging of this, but what I don't like is how glittery this is. As you can see, it's so fun. The covering is so fun of it, but this is just so glittery. So I'm going to move on from that. I won't wear that. And then another one I'm going to get rid of. This is the e.l.f. Liquid Matte Lipstick in the shade Praline. This is a really nice one. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't reach for it. And because it's matte, that's part of the reason why I don't reach for it. This is a beautiful shade though. See, it's actually a really pretty color, but I don't really wear matte shades, so moving on from that. And then this is one that's recent to my collection, but I just find that I never reach for it. This is the Sephora collection. This was in the shade 06, and this is a really pretty color, but it's just too pink for my liking, so going to move on from that. But this is really new, so I'm going to give this to my sister. Going to get rid of 2 primers. I'm not a primer person. I actually wash my face in the morning and I prep it with lotion and sunscreen, etc. So I don't use primers. So because of that, I have a couple of primers that I do like because they're very hydrating and I think they'll be great for the summer. These ones I don't use. This is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright, and then this one is the Pore Professional. I think this is actually still new. I think I used this maybe once or twice. So I'm going to give this to my sister. Both of these I'm going to give to her. I'm going to get rid of a couple. Oh, actually one more primer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Instant Focus Drops. I just don't reach for this. This is really nice on the skin and it does give a really nice glow, but I don't wear primer, so moving on from it as well. Going to get rid of 2 mascaras, the brand Believe Beauty, and I love to use these together. This one is the volumizing mascara and this one is the lengthening mascara. Nothing wrong with these mascaras at all. They're actually really, really good. They're just old. I've had these for a while, so I'm going to get rid of these and I probably will repurchase if I ever come across them again. Getting rid of a couple of blushes and bronzers. First one up I'm getting rid of, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Gasm. This one is in the shade Peach Gasm. This is actually new to my collection, maybe a few months, but I just cannot get this thing to work for me. I love the shade and I think it's really nice, but this just does not look good on my skin. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not blending it out properly. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm not a fan. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to also move on from the NARS Laguna. I actually really like this one, but this one has like hard pan on it for some reason. So I'm gonna move on from it just because I can't make it work anymore with the hard pan. So, but that is a nice bronzer. I do like that. This one is also this one just dried out on me. This is the LYS and this one is in the shade Kindness. Oh, this is a blush actually. So in the shade Kindness, this just dried out and it has a really tough film on the top. So when I try to use it, it's just really chunky on my cheek. So moving on from that as well. And then I have another bronzer. This one is the Hourglass bronzer in Diffused Bronze Light. It's one of those marbled ones. This is just too light for my skin tone. You can barely see it. So for that, I'm getting rid of it. Same thing with this one. This is the Glowish by Huda Beauty, and this one is in the shade Medium. Another one that you can barely see on my skin. So moving on because of that. I have the Ilia blush in Dreamer. This is a really pretty shade, but so you can swatch it here. This is a really nice shade. I actually really like this, but I just don't use it. That's the only reason why. When I swatch it, I'm like, oh, I should use this, and I've kept this in so many declutters, and I just don't reach for it, so moving on. This is an eyeshadow topper. This is by Too Faced, and this one is in Nude Beam. This is so pretty, but because it's loose, I find that I don't reach for it. Look how pretty that is. But because it's loose, I don't ever use it, but look how pretty that shine is. This is really nice. I just wish it had like a little stopper or something to keep from all of the glitter falling out. Also, I've had this for quite some time, so because of that, I'm also getting rid of it. Moving on from 3 Dose of Color highlighters, I don't reach for these. I'm very subtle with my makeup now. I don't do very bright or shiny highlighters anymore, and I don't use these because they are just so bright. So moving on from the first one, this one is in the shade Chasing the Sun by Desi and Katie. Really pretty. You swatch it. Very pretty, but you see how intense that is? I just don't use highlighters like that. Same thing with this one. This one is the I Love Sarai Dose of Colors, and this one is in the shade Bathe. This one's gorgeous too. See, this one's a little chunky, unfortunately, but see how intense that is? Same thing with this one. This one is in Soulmate, also by the Sarai collection. See? Yeah, very pretty, but just too intense. And last but not least, getting rid of some eyeshadow sticks. Eyeshadow sticks are my absolute favorite. I love eyeshadow sticks, but these eyeshadow sticks I just don't reach for. So first two are Charlotte Tilbury ones. This one is in the shade Champagne Diamonds, and this one is in the shade Cosmic Gold. So here's the thing about these. I kept these, this came in a pack. I don't know if it came in a pack or I purchased them separately. I don't remember, but the thing is, these suck. These are just not good. When you put them on your eyes, they do not blend. They just don't budge, which is nice, but you can't create looks with them. So because of that, I've decluttered all of the other ones I had. I held on to these because I love these shades. Like I said, this one is in Cosmic Gold. Look how pretty. It's so pretty. I love that. And then this one is in Champagne Diamonds. They're so pretty, but you can't blend them. Because of that, I'm just getting rid of them as well. And then I'm getting rid of the Sigma. This is an eyeshadow, this is like a base primer. And for that reason, I'm gonna move on from it because I tried to use this as an eyeshadow stick and it didn't work, and I don't really use primer. So I have another color that's very similar that I use instead of this one. So because of that, I'm gonna move on from it. And then this one is Real Her in the shade I Will Shine. And this one is really nice, but it's just more of like a gray taupe, and you can't really see this on my eyelids. It doesn't really do anything for my eyes. So I'm moving on from that. So that is everything I'm going to declutter. I have this in a bag because I'm actually gonna go meet with my sister today for lunch. So I'm going to be giving this to her so she can give some of this stuff to my niece. Like I said, all of this makeup, a lot of it is actually really good. Like it's still usable. You can still wear everything. I just personally don't wear them. Either the highlighters are just too much that I don't wear them. And all of this makeup here, I just don't wear it. I just do not wear this makeup. So because of that, we are just going to get rid of it, and I'm starting fresh with my collection, keeping the things that I absolutely love and that I do wear. So we're going to pass this along to somebody who will use it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, bye.